episode 11, week 11, and also some extra content this week to do with the way I'm working the Powerwall to make the most of the sunlight. I'll leave the setup at home in the notes below. And to start off with, let's get on with the mileage. Mileage on the car is now up to 3,444 miles, which is 150 miles for the week and 1,583 miles since the 2020 logs. As usual, that's on the purple columns of the chart. Moving on to the generation, we're up to 29,375 kilowatt hours, which works out at 53 kilowatt hours for the week and 4,389 kilowatt hours to date since the 2020 logs. And as usual, we'll put all this detail in the green columns. As for the imports, we're up to 6,980 kilowatt hours on the smart meter, which works out at 260 kilowatt hours for the week, which is the least we've had so far this year. And the total in the 2020 logs is 4,389 kilowatt hours. We've got 25 kilowatt hours so far for the month on the Eddi and 66 kilowatt hours for the year. We've had our gas and electric bill from the 12th of Feb to the 11th of March, which the gas has worked out at £6.39. The electricity has been £99.39 with an average of 5.8 pence per kilowatt hour. That's for 1,531.5 kilowatt hours. Next thing to change a little bit is the way the Agile pricing is. We've started getting a double dip in the cost, so it's expensive at the normal peak times. We get the cheaper rate in the mornings, early hours of the morning, but we also get another cheap rate just after 10, 11 o'clock in the morning when there's more sun being available to bring the price down. It's also worth mentioning now we've had over 55% from wind and solar in the UK. On Thursday, the 12th of March, this was the first day we actually started exporting electricity to the grid, and that's including heating up the hot water. This happened mainly because the batteries had charged up to about 80% in the night. The sun then topped up the batteries, and then the hot water heated up and it left nowhere for the electricity to go, so it ended up getting exported, and it was about 2.5 kilowatts for this. As a result, I've started switching the Powerwall to self-powered in the daytime, so I'm using the sunlight and the Powerwall through the partial peak times, and then at night, if I think I'm going to require more power tomorrow, especially if there's not going to be very good sunlight, then I'm switching back to cost-saving mode, which allows the battery to charge up at night at cheap rate, and that's again to make the most of the Agile tariff. I'll keep experimenting with this over the next week as the weather's is given quite good this week. Moving on to week 11 totals. According to the Tesla Powerwall app, the home usage has been 300 kilowatt hours. The solar has been 53.7 kilowatt hours. We've got 86.9 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall, and we've pulled 264 from the grid with 3.3 kilowatt hours going back. I'm breaking that down on to the dailies. We've pulled 36.4 kilowatt hours on Monday with nothing going back. We got 16 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall. We only produced 3.8 kilowatt hours from the solar, and the home usage was 42.1 kilowatt hours. On Tuesday, we pulled 52.7 kilowatt hours from the grid with nothing going back. We only got 5.5 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall, and this is because it didn't fully discharge through the night because the central heating never came on, the electric central heating. But we were holding on to the power in the partial peak time when really we could have got rid of it, and that's why I've decided to switch onto self-powered mode at these times. We got 2.6 kilowatt hours from the solar, which was the least of the whole week, and a home usage of 45.8 kilowatt hours. On the Wednesday, we only pulled 32.6 kilowatt hours from the grid, with 0.1 going back. We got 11.3 kilowatt hours from the powerwall and 5.9 kilowatt hours from the solar, and that's a home usage of 42.1 kilowatt hours. On Thursday, this is the day that we exported some energy due to filling up the Powerwall and fully heating the hot water system. So we pulled 44.3 kilowatt hours, mainly all of that came from the early hours of the morning. We sent back 2.5 kilowatt hours. We got a full 16.2 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall, so we did just about fully discharge that, and we produced 15.4 kilowatt hours from the solar, which was the most of the week, and the home usage was 58.5 kilowatt hours. On the Friday, the 13th of March, we pulled 34.9 kilowatt hours from the grid, with 0.4 going back. We got 14.4 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall. We produced 9.2 from the solar, and the home usage was 41.7 kilowatt hours. And again, I've been experimenting on Friday with the self-powered mode. On Saturday, the 14th of March, we pulled 36.1 kilowatt hours from the grid, with 0.2 going back. We got 14.8 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall. We only produced 7.8 kilowatt hours from the solar, and the home usage was 41.8 kilowatt hours. And on Sunday, the 14th of March, again I was playing with the self-powered mode, so that resulted in only a grid pull of 27.2 kilowatt hours, which was the least of the week. We did send 0.3 kilowatt hours back to the grid. We got 8.8 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall, so it didn't fully discharge. We got 9 kilowatt hours from the solar, and the home usage was only 28.3 kilowatt hours. I've not put the gas readings in this week, and that's due because there's a slight issue with me in-home display unit. It seems to take a few days for the gas to update, so I've had to go back through the records and put the gas costs correct. So that's probably going to be one week offset in the future. So there's been some changes going on. I'm going to experiment more with the self-powered mode and the cost-saving mode to charge up at night. But again, I'll report back on this in the future, and thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, please ask in the comments section.